Hello there, this is Brian Hoggard here from St Swithuns Church in Worcester, working for the Church's Conservation Trust. This is a little talk just about some of the protection marks that were found at St Swithuns in Worcester. Since 1999 I have been conducting independent research into the archaeology of counter-witchcraft, and I've written many papers and a book on the subject. So when I joined the Church's Conservation Trust in July 2019, I had my eyes peeled for protection marks on all our site visits. So I was really pleased when I discovered that we'd found some at St Swithuns, which is the main sort of base for me while I've been working for them. The marks that we have in St Swithuns are concentrated in the bell ringing chamber and the tower stair, which is immediately adjacent. In this image we're looking down into the bell ringing chamber from the little space that's above it. And you can see the window there at the top of the picture, which is actually the west facing window. St Swithuns has an interesting history. The nave was completely demolished and rebuilt in the 1730s, although there are elements of the medieval wall still in the north wall in particular. Now, because it was rebuilt, there are very few marks in the nave. There may be some in the box pews, but I haven't been able to do a thorough survey of those yet because they're still got scaffolding erected over the top of them. The tower, however, dates from the 15th century, and it was remodelled in the 18th century, but not completely stripped out. Yep. So there are some bits of exposed stone that are still medieval. There's a lot of graffiti in the surround of the main west-facing window in the bell ringing chamber. This is scratched into plaster, which must have been new in the 1730s. So the graffiti we find in the plaster is definitely not earlier than that. But the few bits in the tower stair could be quite a bit earlier. So the graffiti around the window is scratched into 1730s plaster, and it's mainly of initials and dates. Some of which is in cartouches, so just a little surrounding to the initials and the date. But there is this very nice daisy wheel and two likely Marian marks which are directly above it, and these are dated 1754. So you can see in the image here this lovely daisy wheel, which is actually a kind of triple daisy wheel, because normally a daisy wheel would have 6 petals, but this one has 18 because we've got a daisy wheel and then another one rotated over and another one rotated over. It's quite complex to do if you want to try one for yourself. And as you can see, they're coupled with these pair of Marian marks, this overlapping VVs, and dated 1754. So just to remind you that the daisy wheel is a symbol for the sun, and so it's thought that where we have the daisy wheel, there is the light of the sun protecting this area and preventing darkness from lurking in that area. And of course the VVs are invoking the presence of the Virgin Mary, who is also protecting that area. Here can be found in the tower stair immediately outside the bell ringing chamber. What we've got here is a Marian mark and a Christogram, which is the crossed eye, right next to each other. So we've got the Virgin Mary and Jesus there, which someone has rather helpfully carved a C in after the eye for Jesus Christ. And so here they are protecting this portal into the bell ringing chamber. So what we often find with protection techniques is that we find them around doors, windows and hearths in particular, but you can find them anywhere. But this is a very clear example on exposed stonework that we know is 15th century in origin. We don't know exactly at what point these marks were placed on the stone, of course, but they have the potential to be older than the ones that are carved into the plaster in the bell ringing chamber. Now directly opposite these, the Marian marks and Christogram here, on the stair that twists upwards towards the tower, we have another mark there, which is a crossed eye and a B, which could be Ius Benedictus. So this is asking for a blessing from Jesus before ascending up into the more perilous heights of the tower. So in summary, even though St Swithuns was remodelled to a large extent and rebuilt in the 1730s, there are still several marks of interest within the building, and more could be waiting to be discovered, particularly in the box pews. If you want to find out more about the different ways people could protect themselves from harmful forces, or if you want to get in touch to report something that you've discovered yourself, please get in touch with me via my website, which is www.aperturepios.co.uk. I know that's a bit of a mouthful, that's why I've put it on the screen. Anyway, I hope you find this interesting, and please do come along and visit us at St Swithuns when we reopen, and hopefully see you there.